Again, I'm watching this specifically. I'm not trading on the 1 minute. I'm watching this though, volume on the 1 minute. Okay. So what I normally end up doing is I'll actually watch this just like this. Okay. I just have my 3 minute up, my 3, my 5, and my 15. This is a 30 now, but 3, my 5, and my 15. Okay. And until I see, where I get into a level where I'm interested in, at that point, then what I'll do is I'll actually start to go to a 1 minute. And all I'm doing is, and the reason I go to a 1 minute is because so often on a 3 minute or a 5 minute, like yesterday, for example, on a 5 minute, I'll show you here. So like right here, this was this looks like a super bullish 5 minute with a huge wick. Well, if you zoom in, you'll see that none of this volume was in the buying. And I can show you that here. Like, okay, if you zoom in here, this is still a 3 minute. And you look at this and you say, okay, big volume in the sell, big volume in the buys. But as soon as you zoom in, you can now see huge volume in the sells, sells. This one here was somewhat buying. This one was somewhat buying. But you can see as we got to buying, it actually shrunk. Okay. So biggest thing here is this is why I switched to a 1 minute. But again, when you're doing this, all I'm really interested in here is just like, I'm not interested in flipping my buys until I get a volume switch. So if we're trending up, and again, all I'm looking at here is just like, here's the sell off. Is there any volume in it? No, there's no volume in any of this. Now we get a bounce and a reversal. This 1 minute candle has more buy volume than all of this prior candles. Ignore the first 1 minute, right? First couple minutes you can even ignore. So what does it tell me? Okay, I'm not really interested in shorting this until we get sell volume. And so until sell volume happens, I'm really only looking to get long. And you can just see move up, light volume pullback, what happens? Next leg, we move up again. Here's your biggest candle. It's in a green buying candle. Okay, we had a couple small sell candles, but nothing that's matching, right? Same thing. What do we get? Now, where's the volume? Line up, still in the buys. So, what does that tell us? Still long. I still haven't got anything that tells me, hey, I want to get short yet. Okay. Again, still big green candle, buying candle. And right here, this was actually one where I missed. And I was 100% okay missing it. Why? Because there's no volume signal. We dip down. What happens? Huge wick, huge buy wick on huge volume. Again, what does that tell us? We're still long. I'm not changing my bias. Okay, what happens here? Big buy volume in buy candles. I'm still long. I'm not convinced to go short yet. Okay, same thing here. Like you sit here and you're like, oh, I missed this. This sucks. But if you watch this, we're gonna continue. We're not ready yet. Now, all of a sudden, you see what happens here? How many times you could get faked in to get a short? Now, yes, there's moves to be had here, but if you're on any bigger of a time frame than a 1 minute, there's nothing to be had, right? These are tiny wins. All the volume is still in the buys. And until this switches, I don't want to go short, right? Okay, so we still go up. And now you can see we're just grinding up. And look how much money you can make if you just trade with the volume and not worry about catching the opposite side. Okay, now we come into a level. We had a big kind of doji candle here. Not doji, but just like indecisive candle with big volume. Still volume in the buys. Had some sell volume here, a little bit more here, but nothing too much. Still going. Okay. Now, boom. Look what happens. Red sell candle on matching, if not higher volume than the other buy candles. Now I'm interested, right? Now I have some sort of interest in playing this. Okay. Now it's like I want to see a lower high. Again, once I see that, I'm just looking for an example of, I'm still looking for the same setup. I'm looking for a lower high now to get short. Okay. Again, boom, big volume in a sell candle. Now we're interested. Now I'm like, hey, this thing's going to flip short. And if we do, I want to be in it. There we go. Massive sell candle. I'm in short right here. Breakdown of this. Now we can go. Okay. And now you can see what happens is like, and right here, I'm not interested. I don't care. I don't care if I stop out. Why? Because volume's in the short, no volume in the buys. We're breaking down. And you just have to have some confidence, you know? Again, same thing here. Another look, volume in the cells, and we go. Okay. So that's just one example, guys. Here, I'll give you another one. Give me 1 second. I gotta let my dog in quick. Guys, if you have questions on this at all, just again throw them in chat and we can kind of go over it and explain, you know. And so hopefully this makes sense here, though, guys. Like we're just going until now what? Sell volume, no buy volume, boom. Wick into zone with buy volume. Now what? Interested in the other way. Until we get this, I have zero interest in trying to get long. And I have zero interest in trying to sell my short position. Now that you get this, look at all the volume that comes in the buys. Okay. That's where you want to try and catch a reversal. And then once we get caught back here in the middle of everything, I'm not looking to trade, right? I'm not going to trade this. But, you know, we can just look at yesterday again, for example. Okay. Slow grind up, not really much volume. Whenever there's indecisive volume, meaning we don't have volume, that's when you want to trade the breakdowns of patterns. So like yesterday, you know, we got short right here. Breakdown of this. Why? No volume. There's no buy volume. There's no sell volume. There's no leading indicator. When there's no volume in consolidation, the breakout or the breakdowns where there's going to be volume. What happens is when you have volume in one direction and we're consolidating and then we break out, sometimes you'll fake out because you're against the volume. Where here, there's no volume. So again, big sells lead to what? Big volume. I'm not interested in this. Now, this is a perfect example. This was a key level. Could have you played this long? Absolutely. You have to be willing to say, I'm not catching both sides every time, because as soon as you do that, your wins become 1R to 2R max, and you never catch bigger moves than that. Right? And so yesterday, just sat here all day. Again, zero buy. We got a little bit of buying here, so I was kind of like, okay, but nothing compared to these sells. So that just tells me what? I'm just waiting. I'm just going to sit and wait till I get a lower high. Again, big sell candle. Okay? Volume still in the cells. Now all I'm just waiting for is a setup. So what do we wait for? Here's your trend. Breakdown of the trend, lower high. There we go. Big sells. There's your money. Okay, now again, what happens here? Grind it down, no volume. Especially when we get this no volume, guys, you're going to continue with the trend until what happens? Boom. Big buy volume, big wick. There's where we flip. And now once we're in between here and we're indecisive, so we go from big sell to big buy and we're in between this range, I'm not interested. I'm done trading. Just like yesterday, right? Took 2 trades, I'm done. I don't care what happens after that. Okay, today. Again, I was a little frustrated this morning. I didn't love the 30-minute open, and then with news at 9:45 and then top of the hour, I was just not all that intrigued by it. But you can see here. So again, what do we have? Pretty indecisive. You know, there was a good volume candle here in the buys. There's a decent sell candle, but nothing super, you know, so there's nothing, again, very low volume. So when there's very low volume, you just look at the consolidation, you wait for volume to come in or a breakout of the pattern. So what do we have this morning? This is where there was that inside 5 short. You know, I think, Ed, you asked, hey, should I trade? Are you trading this? I said, no, it kind of looks like a bull flag and there's just no volume plus news at the top of the hour. Now look what happens, okay? You get a volume spike here a little bit in a bull flag. And then we take off, you know, we get bought up. Okay, this candle here, indecisive candle. What does that tell you? Nothing really, right? It's news. There's no direction on that volume. Okay, we get big volume here in a sell candle. So that tells me a little interested there. Then again here, we're just kind of matching volume. Breakdown of this. There's your trade. Again, big volume. Now, where do we get volume at? Do we get volume in the buys? No. Is this a trade? Sure, it's a scalp. Again, you have to be willing to say, I'm trading with or I'm trading against. So I kept saying, I don't care about this. I'm fine missing this. I missed this long, so be it. Waiting for a bear flag. Okay, here's what we get. Again, still there's volume in the sells. There's no volume in the buys yet. Still making higher lows. Okay, boom. We make a lower high. Now what? Now I'm interested, right? See if we make some lower highs and you get a setup on a bigger time frame. And again, this is where you're combining the time frames, right? You're not just watching the 1 minute. Watching the 1 minute for volume, that's it. And then this breakdown here, it's the one that I caught. Again, we're getting sold off. And then where does it gap in here? Okay. You break this down. Again, you can see volume here. Big volume sell, big volume sell. All right, I'm not convinced this is going to get through VWAP. We get down, big volume sell, boom, big volume buy. As soon as you see this, instant switch for me on that's either a, hey, I want to get long spot, or hey, I'm looking to get long and bailing on my short right now. So what do we do? So I bailed. Triple bottom with volume and bailing. I was too slow. I was hoping for maybe a higher low into this. We never got it. We just ripped off of it. So be it. And that's fine. And then again, we went from big sell volume to big buy volume. We get caught in the middle of the two. What are we doing? I'm doing absolutely nothing. I'm sitting on my hands. I will sit and watch this chop. I mean, I'm not even going to watch it. It's not worth it, right? So hopefully this helps, guys. Here, if you have questions right now, send them in chat, and I can go over a couple live here. But if not, just throw some in the comments, and just throw them in that large cap chat if you do, or if you want me to go over some. But hopefully this helps, guys.